friends in pre-K. Today we're going to read another story about Pete the cat. Do you remember the story we read before where Pete the cat stepped in different things like red strawberries or blue blueberries or brown mud? Here's another story about Pete. But in this story, we're going to be counting his buttons. Look at the front cover. Do you see the buttons here on his shirt? And look, whoa, they pop off. His buttons pop off. So in this story, Miss Hilaire wants you to think about how many buttons does he have? And when one pops off, boing, 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 how many are left? Pete, he's the character in this story. Character means that's the person or thing or animal in the story. He's the character. Say character. Good. Say front cover. Good. Say back cover. Good. Oh, look at the back cover. Do you see the 4 groovy buttons? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 buttons on the back cover. Let's go back to the front cover. Do you see the title? Remember the title. That means name of the book. Pete the cat and his 4 groovy buttons. Here we go. Oh, I'm excited. Don't you like Pete? Miss Hilaire likes Pete. Here we go. Now, while Miss Hilaire is reading, keep that eagle eye going and look at all the illustrations, okay? And Miss Hilaire, I'm going to read the text right here. Pete the cat put on his favorite shirt with his 4 big, colorful, round buttons. He loved his buttons so much, he sang this song. Before we hear his song, use your eagle eye and look at that illustration. Do you see Pete? Do you see his 4 buttons? And do you see this right here? When you see little bubbles like this coming out of a character's head, that means that's what he's thinking about. Pete is thinking about number 4. That's right. He's thinking about number 4. All right. Let's get back to the story. He loves his buttons so much, he sang this song. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. I'm going to look at the illustration and I'm going to count buttons. Will you help me? Counting finger. You can touch towards your monitor on your computer, or you can count in the air like this with me. Okay? Here we go. Counting buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 groovy buttons. Pop! Do you see that big word? Pop! Look! Boing, 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 boing. Oh no! One just popped off. How many buttons are left? Now remember, we had 4 buttons on his shirt, but boing, Pete lost one. How many are left, friends? Look at the illustration. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. Now Pete only has 3 buttons. He had 4. Boing. Now he has 3. And look, on the next page, it shows us a big number 3. It says we had a set of 4. We took away 1. That's called subtract 1. And now there's only 3. Only 3 buttons in this little set. 1, 2, 3. Did Pete cry? Did he cry when he lost that button? Take your hand and say, goodness, no. Good. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. He didn't cry. Look what happened next. There's that big word, pop. Whoa, say pop. Oh no, another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? Remember, he had 3. Boing. But now he lost one. Let's look at the illustration. Get your eagle eye going. Get your counting finger going. Let's count Pete's buttons. 1, 2. Show me 2. Good. Did Pete cry? He only has 2 now. Did he cry? Say, goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no, do you see the big green button? It popped off and it rolled away. Now how many buttons are left? He had 2 last time, but the big green one just rolled away. Use your eagle eye. Look at the illustration. Let's look at Pete's little yellow coat. How many buttons are on his coat? That's right. If you said 1, you were right. And here's the number 1. Do you see the big number 1? Did Pete cry? Put your hand up. Say, goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my buttons, my 1 groovy button. My button, my button, my 1 groovy button. Pop! Do you see Pete? Do you see that the button popped off, his big red button? Oh no! The last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left on Pete's yellow coat? Use your eagle eye. Do you see any buttons? No. What number do we say when there's nothing there? Show me your hands. Stick them out. Say, nothing there. That's called 0. Say 0. And there's the big 0. Nothing there. Now watch out. That's not an O. That's not letter O. Letter O is round like a ball. 0 is an oval. Oops, he's an oval. So now Pete doesn't have any buttons. Did Pete cry? Put your hand up. Say, goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt. And what do you think he saw? What do you predict? What did he see, guys? There's no more buttons there. No more buttons. I wonder what he saw. You know what he saw? He saw his belly button. Use your eagle eye. Do you see that little white dot on his tummy? It's not a button like on a shirt, but it's his belly button. Put your finger up and touch your belly button. Ready, set, go. Ding! Down there on your tummy. My button, still have my belly button. My button, still have my belly button. And then look, Pete is thinking something. And it says, it's all good. Pete didn't cry when he lost all his buttons. He just found something else to make him happy, like his belly button. So, sometimes stuff will come and go, Maybe your toy gets broken, or maybe you lose a toy. Do we cry? Put your hand up. Say, goodness, no. We keep on singing. Buttons come and buttons go. And on the last end page, there's just a whole bunch of different colored buttons. Did you like this story, friends? Pete the cat and his 4 groovy buttons. Now, in our lesson today, later on Seesaw, and in our Zoom meeting, we are going to be counting buttons, not Pete's buttons. Miss Hilaire's got some more buttons here, and we're going to count, but we're not going to start with 4 like Pete did. You and I, we're going to start with 5. Show me 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give Miss Hilaire an air high five. Ready? Air high five. Boom. Oop, nope. Miss Hilaire didn't look in the camera for my hand. Let's try it again. Air high five. Ready, set, go. Air high five. Boom. Good listening, friends. Now, go do your seesaws. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next story, okay? Goodbye, everybody.